Baby, look over there. Guys, hurry. Hurry, come quick. I've spotted a grazing zebra here in South Carolina. Come on, hurry, quick. We gotta check it out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Shh, be very quiet. Look at her. Isn't she just a beaut? You don't want to spook her. Oh man, guys, that was totally awesome. That's the Arno Bernard zebra. I think we need to go in for a closer look. Let's go. So this Arno Bernard zebra, it's an African-made knife. Arno Bernard is an African knife maker, and he makes very nice, well-built knives. He does. If you're not familiar with anything that Arno Bernard has done in the past, or even the present right now, I'll leave the link to his website down below, so that way you can go and check it out. And some of the materials that he uses for his knives are just absolutely awesome. And now, granted, they do get up there in price, and that's the story with a lot of knife makers who use unique materials, I guess you could say. For instance, some of his knives come with mammoth molar, and that price goes up there, but I can understand why. One of the other materials that he uses, which is right around average, is crocodile hide. And your handle it's a crocodile handle. It's pretty freaking cool, actually. Of all the things that I'd like to have one of these with some crocodile on its handle. That's pretty sweet. Now, he also makes some nice folders, and that's another story. Maybe one day I'll be able to get one. We're talking about the zebra today. And I don't know too much about the zebra, other than it's actually a very nice, well-built knife. I mean, it works great with EDC tasks, and it does pretty good with kitchen tasks. I guess today we're going to kind of find out how well it'll do with outdoor or bushcraft tasks. But if I were to guess, I'm going to say the zebra will do pretty good when it comes to your bushcraft or camp chores. Now, the only difference that you'll notice with this is there's no square spine. This is 100% rounded, and that's perfectly fine. Not every knife has to have a squared spine. Even though you guys know I do like a squared spine on a knife, but I do have other knives that don't have squared spines, and that's perfectly fine. You know, we have strikers for ferro rods, for that matter. And again, this wasn't necessarily designed to be a bushcraft knife. You know. So anyway, if you'd like to know a little bit more about the zebra and see it in action with bushcraft tasks, don't go anywhere. Let's check out the specs, and let's put this thing to use. Because man, this thing is a beauty, and it is dying to be used. And that's exactly what I'm good at. Using my knives. It's a good hat hook too. Let's get this show on the road. Alright, so before I start sawing away with my Bone Valley buck saw on this piece of branch here to get us some material for batoning and feather sticking, let's go ahead and do a little bit of chopping with the zebra just to see how well this will chop. Alright, so now that we got that all cleaned up, let's go ahead and saw us a piece. Man, I love this Bone Valley buck saw. This thing is freaking sweet. It makes things so easy, and it's such a convenient tool. Alright, so we have our piece of wood here. Now, I wouldn't baton. This is about 2 inches in diameter, maybe a little bit bigger. With a blade length of 3 inches, slightly over 3 inches. I wouldn't baton anything bigger than 2.5 to 2.5 inches in diameter. I wouldn't. It's not necessary. If your knife is only 3 inches long, there's no need to baton anything bigger than 3 inches, honestly. There's no need to even try and test that. So let's go ahead and split this one down. Oh man, this is proving to be a lot more difficult than I want it to because my baton stick is a little on the wet side. So it's sticking. There we go. Now we got a little bit smaller of a piece so my baton stick won't stick as much. Because that tip is very nice and pointy. So it's just getting stuck in my wood. This piece of wood has a fair amount of knots in it. And it's not really getting hung up. It's not really being too much of a problem. Ooh, right through a knot too. Look at that. That's nice. Right through a knot. No edge or blade damage whatsoever. Alright, now quit getting stuck in my baton stick. Alright, so there you go. When you use the appropriate sized diameter piece of wood, batoned in half with the, I guess your size of a blade that you're using, you're not going to have an issue. I actually had fun doing that with this because it flew through that wood pretty quickly, actually. Alright, there you go. You can see we got a pretty decent little bundle here. And I do have a bunch here too because I chopped them off. Let me go ahead and do a little bit more. We'll pop this off of here and we'll use my Bone Valley ferro rod along with my LTWK ferro rod striker and light this up because, like I said, smoothed out, rounded spine. Can't scrape a ferro rod on it. Perfectly fine. That's what we have other tools for. Let's take a quick intermission here and talk about the sheath. The sheath is made from Cape Buffalo. It's very nicely stitched, very nicely finished. It does have a rivet here at the end holding it, and it's got rivets holding the belt loop. The belt loop fits up to, I believe, 2 inches. You also have 2 rivets on the, it won't show, on the inside. You can barely see them. That also holds the belt loop there. Now, this sheath, I've really liked the quality and the way it's made. And I love this Cape Buffalo. That's just, to me, that's just awesome. It looks great. And it feels extremely nice. I hate where the belt loop is. I absolutely hate it, because if you're someone like me who is on the bigger side, I guess you would call it the fluffy side, that knife kind of gives a little bit of that pokey, jabby. Now, if I have my shirt tucked in, it's not so bad, but my shirt's not tucked in, which I would say 90% of the time it's not. It is pretty uncomfortable because it does jab. Now, I could slap a dangler on there and it could be a dangler knife, but I don't want that. I want it to be straight to my hip. Now, if this were to move up to here, like even the top of this, just move it up to here, I think it would be much better. However, I have been wearing it for the past couple days, and it's not as bad as you would think, but it is noticeable. So that is something that I do not really care too much for when it comes to the sheath. Everything else about the sheath, I love. You did good, Zebra. You did good. I am very satisfied with how well that hollow grind did, and just, I mean, look at that bundle of just nice fine feathers, and then all the ones that I chopped off. You did extremely well, and I kind of expected that from a hollow grind. Hollow grinds are meant to slice. I think I've said that already. I wanted to reiterate it. So, hey, it's a good featherer. Featherer. Anyway, let's move on and go ahead and light this thing up. I know we all want to see that happen, right? I have a bit of a long piece here, but we're going to go ahead and do our normal carve out a steak with this. So it's got a pretty nice bite into that wood. Whether you hold it like this, you get a secure and firm grip, and that hollow grind really does it bites into that wood, and you still get a good grip. Doing it that way, man. That carved out nice and neat. I'm not gonna even try and attempt to carve out that knot. Well, let's do it anyway. Ugh. Yeah, it's digging into that knot too. There you go. That's a point for zombie slaying. We'll go ahead and put a little notch in here. It digs in there very well. Hollow grinds are good for something. They're usually not my first choice, but they perform just as well, honestly. And if you've got a good heat treat on a hollow grind, you're not going to have much of an issue. Look at that. Look at that deep notch right there. Nice point, deep notch. Did a pretty freaking good job. Alright, so I'd like to take a minute or two to kind of wrap this up. The Arno Bernard Knives Zebra. It's SC Bushcraft Backwoods approved and recommended. I know my approval doesn't mean much, nor does my recommendation, but hey, it's there, you have it, live with it. Anyway, now, can I recommend anything else by Arno Bernard Knives? Yeah, not really, because, well, I haven't tried anything else yet. This is the first and only one I've tried. Now, does that mean there won't be more in the future? Absolutely not, because there's definitely going to be. For instance, there's a slip joint I would absolutely love to have. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it in the screen below here. Anyway, moving on past that, we're talking about the Zebra. You know, part of my recommendation that I look for is how well does it feel in my hand. The ergonomics of the Zebra, absolutely wonderful and fantastic. It feels great in your hand, the squeeze, the usage, all of it, everything about it. It fits, it feels perfect, it's wonderful to have in your hand, it's wonderful to use, extremely comfortable. The blade steel, this is my first time using the N690 steel. It's a great steel. It holds a great edge for a long period of time, and it touches up extremely easy and extremely well. Take a strop or even a ceramic rod and you're good to go. You're golden. So, hey, the steel is great. Anyway, that's just a couple things to kind of wrap this up. The Zebra, I highly recommend. I'd definitely love to get a hold of some more Arno Bernard knives. And when that happens, if you follow me on Instagram, chances are you'll see it there first. So with all that being said, take it easy, and thank you for visiting me out here in the backwoods.